Hello everyone, my name is Uthris, and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story on the channel. And you are joining us at the start of March. So it's planning season. It's time to get going with some springtime activities and a little bit more progression, which is good because we are running out of food. So, alright, I accidentally sat too long in the intro, and now my guy has a little temporal sickness. It'll pass. It'll be fine. We just got, if you don't see Dave, you're generally okay. Generally. So last episode, we went ahead and started our farm design. So this is nice and laid out now. It's ready for use. We tested the aqueducts, running water over to here and everything. All that seems to be working. I will be changing the design of this. Maybe not this episode, but I went ahead and climbed up this spire that was part of this ruin. And I wanted to test if we can make an aquifer up here, and we can make a wellspring. So I'm gonna make this thing look like a little bit of a pumping tower for a bigger well, and we'll make an aquifer come off this way and then drop a little bit in height and then continue on to the farm. That way we're not just having this straight line. We're gonna have a little bit more of an L shape, and then if we need to run water elsewhere, we can have it branch off from this tower also. So for now, I'm just kind of sitting it there for the time being. But yeah, so average nightly temperatures, I believe, are at least good enough to plant the most hardy of the crops that we have so far, which I believe is rye. Okay, it has a minimum temperature of -12, and you can plant that the earliest from winter. Now, you can't really grow this in the summer because the highest temperature it likes is 27, but it can survive up to -12 degrees Celsius. So let's head over to the farm with some seeds. And the way farming works in this game is that there's actual nutrients in the ground, all right? So if we take a look here, I found some high fertility soil a little bit in the south when I went on that big boating excursion. And then we have our general medium fertility, which is very common on its own. So I brought back the high fertility soil and upgraded the farm in a nice even capacity here. And then the other half is going to be medium fertility. Normal stuff, all right? And when you're looking at farmland, you can see there's nutrients level, 65% N, 65% P, and K. Certain crops use up that certain nutrient. So rye is an N crop, which means it's going in my N column. Okay, so right now, these are going to be my N crops, P crops, K crops. And then when I rotate, I will just rotate them down one and rotate the end to this side. And that is how I'm going to do crop rotation. A little bit more of a simple setup. There we go. So now all of it made it to just the high quality soil. And you can see there is a growth rate of a 10% bonus on the high quality soil here. So the quality of the soil matters. You can make high quality soil. You can make terra preta, which is the highest quality soil in the game. Anyways, so we have our first little plot here. Now, I did loot something a long while ago. A scroll of fertilize. Increases 1 random nutrient in a 3x3 farmland. So spell scrolls are pretty cool. This is part of the Rust Brown magic mod. And it lets someone use a spell even if they aren't a mage. So mages can kind of, I guess you could say, sell spells if they wanted to. So I think if I do this, okay, so every single block got a random nutrient increase. That's interesting. So this one went to P, this one went to N, this one went to K. Not overly crazy helpful, but eventually we'll be able to learn that as a base spell. In fact, let me see if there's a wand of nourish, of fertilize. Oh, there is. Well, let's make that. Let's test that out. Right now I'm using the Wand of Lesser Plunder because, well, it's nice to get bonus loot. Let's grab a bone. I like using bone as the handles. That way I don't have to waste sticks. Wand of... Okay, so Hydrate Farmland does do a little bit of an area too, but we'll just use the watering can. Alright, fertilize. So... Oh wait, no, I was going to use the bone here. Bone, 2 dust, a binder, and some sort of crystal. I guess we'll do a nature maybe. That may make sense. So we'll grab this wand. How much mana does this cost? 6? Well, that's a good way to probably level up spellcasting. Does it do the 3x3 or just one random nutrient? Well, let's see if we can't get an N increase here. Oh. That went to P. There we go. N's there. Is it only doing 5% or is it doing 10%? Okay, it's only doing 5%, so it's not crazy. But we'll go ahead and just dump all of our mana into it just to level our magic a little bit, because you level magic by spending mana. Boom. Just leveled up. Now, obviously, when we get the better spells, we can do bigger areas and things, but okay, so that's cool. There's a wand that we can use. So I'm hoping to unlock Spellcraft soonish. Let's just throw that in there for now. Alright, so we did some planting, which is gonna hopefully pay dividends. I think rye grows in 18 days, so it's gonna be a little while. A couple months before we reap those rewards. Want to repair some of our armor. Just a full. Perfect. Put this thing away. Have some food. Have some food. Let's get started. So let's go over here. Get some of these rift blooms. They're probably forming for magic. I really want to step up our magic soonish, but the sad thing is we just need so many rift blooms. I might need to start doing a ritual to summon rifts. It's a scary idea, but we can actually summon those. And they will, you know, turn flowers, ferns into these rift blooms. Alright. So with the start of spring and stuff, I think I know what I'm going to build next at our base. And I need some sort of shed. Just a nice little storage shed, honestly. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let's start breaking ground on this. The storage shed will keep all of our farming stuff in it. It will hopefully look fairly nice. It's going to be a nice little small building, I think. So we'll have to work out the size of it first. Let's grab a shovel. So the shed, I probably want it down here near the farmland. Makes the most sense. So I'm gonna push back the dirt thing here and put it kind of nestled at this level back this way against the aqueduct. So we'll get a little garden shed. I don't think I want it right up against the path. I'm gonna put it in one as well. So let's go with a double door wall piece, a double window, and then corner. So that's how long the wall is gonna be. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. And then width-wise, I'm thinking you walk in. I want to have a little bit of room. Boom, boom. And then storage. So like a 2x2, just kind of like a breathing area, kind of entryway. And then we need a wall to hang shelves and things. So let's do that. So this is about the right size for the footprint, I think. It might help if I actually hold a torch in my offhand. I don't know why I'm building this at night, but here I am, risking it all. So this back wall is not going to have any windows, just the side and a little window here, I think. Might put a window on this side because again, when we raise the aqueduct, we might be able to still see out this side, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, that'll be the correct size, I think. It'll be cozy and nice. We can have some barrel storage, maybe some compost bins, a little shelf, and then something else up here. That'll be kind of tall though. Might be able to pull it off though. Maybe. I'm gonna do an oak wooden shingle. Actually, wait. I have these. I fired some red clay shingles. Maybe we'll do some red clay shingles for this little build. Yeah, let's just see what this does. Nope. Don't want what you're selling. Okay. So something that we need for this is glass. I actually need some glass. And conveniently, we have a bloomery made because I was going to use it for iron. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do a glass poor. I need to go get more quartz, so we can run over and do that real fast. There's some quartz visible literally right across the river, which is starting to thaw. If you guys look at our mini map, you can see things starting to thaw out. It's so cool that this game does all of this stuff. Like the snow layers are melting, you can see all the layers. The water's thawing. I need to delete my test aqueduct at some point. So over here, yep, there's quartz, which I need to mark. Alright, there we go. That'll be enough for now. Temperature 0 degrees Celsius. Oh, okay. Didn't realize you can put that much quartz in. It's been a while since I've done the glass firing, so we need more quartz to get this thing lit up. But yeah. So basically you fill up the bloomery with the thing you want to smelt down, whether it's glass, you use quartz. I don't think you can use clear quartz, it has to be normal quartz to smelt down into glass. But clear quartz has its own uses on its own, so that's okay. Okay. And then you add a certain amount of charcoal to it as well, and then you light it, and then you're good to go. Then you got your bloomery online, and it'll just burn itself out, and then once it's finished and stops smoking, you'll be able to harvest your goodies. Okay, so 24 quartz. Gotcha. Put this in here. Grab, I think it's 8 charcoal. 6. And then you just light it like it's a pig kiln or something. And there you go. Got our first little bloomery going. I mean, sure, it's for glass, but glass is pretty important. Because with glass, I could technically make leaded panes. I could also chisel with glass to make a custom window if I so choose. Rack. What racks are there? Looking for detail pieces now. Dish rack, towel rack, herb rack. That may be kind of cool. Put in our shed. Spice racks. Maybe. Maybe. We'll have to see. Okay, back to work. Alright, so this will be the last little bit of supports, hopefully that I need to detail out a little bit. Because I want the shed to have some depth to the construction, and support beams are a good way to, at least on the surface level, have some depth to the build. 64 oak support beams. So if we come over to the shed, and for example, just do this. Okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't with support beams. that is for sure. One side of the door is okay, and the other side is not okay with that. Go ahead and test just removing the door and placing it back. Sometimes yeah, sometimes it doesn't like it. Never know what you're gonna get sometimes with your support beam placement. They can be a little finicky to get exacting details, but that's okay. That's what makes them kind of fun to work with. Okay, so what I'll do instead is do it on the outside here. That's okay. Kind of to delete this door so I can get access to this other one, I think. Oh man, they're so finicky sometimes to get to. I'll leave it for now. Just kind of try and ignore it. But so we have a couple little columns there. I want this to have like a little bit of a windowsill to it. And once we get the panes of glass in here, it'll look nice because they'll sit right in the middle here because it's a pane, a glass pane. So hopefully that looks good. I might end up having to do something a little extra with that. I'm not sure. Then otherwise, I'd like to have a little bit of a beam here, and then one going up to there. Something like that. Just gives it something. Then over here, we'll do the same thing. Boom. These blocks, I think they're in the way, so we'll get rid of them. Take this all the way up. Lovely. Yep. Then here we go across. And I'll just do the corners as well. So if you are working on like a timber frame building, beams can be your friend. There are timber frame blocks in the game. However, they may not be what you're looking for in terms of functionality. So that looks okay. I could add like a chiseled sub layer to these roofs. I'm okay with the kind of the blocky style. Sometimes you just gotta let certain details go in the hopes that in the aggregate it looks okay still. Because you can fiddle with vintage story building forever, and this is just a small little construction, so if I sit here and fiddle with it, I will probably end up losing my mind. So let's just get these up. In the middle. Of course, that didn't go all the way down, probably because I clicked on the snow. Across. just a simple... double there. Be up. 45 too. There you go. That's most of the framing done. I'm not going to be able to access the other side immediately, but that gets us most of the way there, which is pretty nice. Let's throw some light in here. If you guys remember what I said when I first talked about chisel, the fact that we are adding something with a very consistent color, we don't have to worry about orientation, so we can use that plus sign to just add this nice kind of smooth topper on it. I might need to get a little bit more just to wrap the corner a little bit. But this is a little bit of a test more than anything. And so far I'm liking it. Definitely contrasts well. Boom. This chisel has one durability left. So it was a good use of that. So now our well, you know, it's still functional. It can still be raised and lowered. Isn't that cool? It just looks a little bit more prim and proper than that temporary base we had, you know, not too long ago. So that's nice. I like that. That's pretty cool. Ah, another morning. Beautiful. Wow, the river is really thawing out now. The rye is growing. And we got ourselves our little shed. It'll need some finished detail kind of work. On the interior, it's missing some things. I might do some extra work along the edge, like how we have this retaining wall here at the garden side of things. We might carry that over and surround this little, I guess, flower bed that I plan on having in its own little sunken garden. Come here, Jeff. Come here. Get out of here. Man. Very rude. Just being needy, guys. Just because of temporal storms on its way. What a guy. Yeah, no, I think this sets us up good for spring and the planting season. I'm glad we have another little utility shed for storage. I'll move the seeds out to here for planting. And then, I mean, who knows? Maybe if we expand the farm a little bit more that way, we could have like a little root cellar building of some kind. And then long-term plans, I need to really get a spot for the pigs sorted so we can do some proper butchery and for food so that we can start breeding these guys again. I'm thinking about having animal pens here, because what I could do is maybe split off from the aqueduct and have a little bit of a guess water thing going into here. I don't know. And the storm is imminent. Otherwise, I need to get maybe an official full blacksmith, a tannery. There's so much stuff to build. So much stuff to build and set up. We need to find iron. We need to do all that stuff. I'm gonna go before this temporal storm shows up. So if you guys enjoy the stuff, feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button. I'm gonna hide in this closet. And we'll see you all